There's a group of female right now that are friends because they are all pretty. Not because they like each other.
Women, please don't fool yourselves thinking that what you see on Instagram is the type of wedding you gonna have. You can now get a marriage certificate that expires after 5 years. So after 5 years, if you see that this marriage can no longer continue, you can opt out that marriage and your marriage will now be void.
AP, that's it.
Welcome to Every That Said Podcast, the podcast for the good guys. By a good guy, that be messing up sometimes, man, but here to have no BS conversations. Look, today's episode is very packed. As you can see, I have my guy here with me. Listen, we're going to be talking about everything relationships. So I really want you guys to stay tuned. To my ladies, stay tuned, man. The good guys is out here. They just hiding. Feel me? It's scary out here. So you're going to be touching on about it. Make sure you follow us on all our socials at @EPDASIT__. That's at EPIDASIT__. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, man, let's start the show. All right. I'm joined here with my guy. What's going on, man?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
It's pretty good, you?
I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Can't complain. It's been a long day, man. How's your day?
Oh man, my day been good. It was calm. It wasn't stressful though. Last week I know it was stressful. I thank God for the weekend. But Monday it was calm, so nothing crazy. But I'm glad to be here.
Oh,
I was waiting to be here tonight. So
oh yes, sir.
yeah.
Nah, I can't lie. You was. My man was checking it every single time I text him. Very communicative. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
Yeah,
You feel me?
Communication is key.
Very much. Come on, we gonna talk about that now. Hello, somebody. Feel me? But before we start the show, we always ask these things: who you are, what you do, and we gonna jump in straight into the question, straight into the topic. But before we get into that, like I said, who you are, what you do, and the question I got for you is, how, or what is, or what was your engagement story? Yeah, so everybody got one. I got mine. You feel me? I'm not engaged, but I got mine. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell yours first.
All right. My name is Sonny. My government name is Eugeneson. Last name Sofrin. I'm a care coordinator at a social service field.
Okay.
I work for ICL, Pathways to Wellness. My engagement story, so it's low-key a long story, but basically, in a nutshell, she knew it was coming.
Oh.
Right? Like, we talked about this from jump.
Okay.
Right? I told her when I even got into a relationship with her, I'm not here to, be in this relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, for a long period of time. Like, my goal is to, get married and stay married.
Ooh.
Right?
Intentional. Yes, sir.
Gotta be. So, let me see. We got together as boyfriend and girlfriends, and we decided that a year in our relationship, we would see whether or not it should continue.
Ooh.
Right? So after that year, we looked at it and we, went through the whole year of how our relationship went. And then we decided, we want to go further. Let's do counseling. Let's do pre-engagement counseling.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
So like when I said we were intentional, I was definitely intentional with her, and yeah, we started pre-engagement counseling and she knew it was coming. When she didn't know. But then there were people here, like, sort of making it hot.
Oh, man. Seems like I gotta keep people out of your business, man. I ain't gonna lie. Oh my goodness.
But
Sheesh.
she knew it was coming. Mm-hmm. She knew it was gonna happen that summer, either her birthday or our anniversary.
Wow.
When we got together.
She's a detective. She's paying attention.
But honestly, and I think I like that because she didn't have to second guess where she was in the relationship with me.
Okay.
So, because, there's a lot of times, like, there's some women who end up being in a relationship or even situationship with the brother, and she has no idea where it's going.
True.
Right? Like, for example, like, I can think of people who end up being in a relationship, but they never really like declared that they're in a relationship. All of a sudden, people start calling, oh, that's wifey, that's my girl. But at what point did you really say like, I want you to be my girl, You're like, I have plans for you to do this and that and that. It's just, this is what we are because we always hang out with each other. It's like, nah, it's a lot of confusion. And I wanted to make sure that she wasn't confused with the relationship she had with me.
Yes.
So yeah. On her birthday, basically that was the day we planned for the engagement. Myself, our family. It was something real close, and told her, I'm gonna take you out to a special dinner, whatnot. But what I didn't tell her was where, right? Okay. So I tell her, get dolled up, it's your birthday.
Yep.
Look good. I mean, she always look good. Trust me. Yeah. She always look good. Like
good safe. Good. What you mean? I look good only that day? Nah. Good save.
But yeah, she was definitely stunning that day. I can tell you that. And then I was driving all the way in Long Island to get her to the destination. Yeah. But sometimes people could be a little late. Us Haitians.
Regular.
So I'm just driving around aimlessly at this point, just trying to make sure everybody is there. So when we get there, she's able to see everyone and no one pulls up late.
Oh wow, that's great.
But the thing is, when I told her about the dinner, she didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, what it was going to be, but she had a feeling once again that she was going to be proposed that day. Yeah. So when when I got there with her, she seen our close friends and family. She was shocked. She seen even a old friend of hers who was playing the violin for us that day. So yeah, and yeah. Oh, I can even talk about the ring process too.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. Come on now.
So with the ring, like I was even asking a couple of my brothers for advice about when it comes to ring, and they told me basically find out what she likes. So yeah, like I sat down and I was like, yo, what do you want? Because I know I want to marry you one day, so I don't want to buy you a ring that you don't like. Yeah, you're the one that's gonna be wearing it. So what do you like? What do you want to see your ring to look like? She told me. We even went to the ring shop together. Did the measurement. So once again, it wasn't gonna be a surprise. Like she knew. Yeah,
she knew it was gonna happen.
She knew it was gonna happen. Once again, it just didn't know when it was gonna happen. So yeah, did that. Find out the cost. I was like, within my budget, nice. Still expensive though, but right. So
it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah. So she seen all the moves I was making. Like I even moved up in a position within my career. Wow. So like I was really taking this very seriously. So yeah, and here we are now. I think that answers everything.
Yeah, pretty good. And one thing I do want to say though, that I remember when you finally posted it, what I'm saying? I forever remember, I think it was Yabu that shared it. I gotta show you this picture, cause the memes for days. I have this picture saved because your face was bad funny here. And the caption got me weak. He was like, when I'm about to marry the love of my life.
That's facts though.
No.
That's facts though.
Oh man. I love that picture, man. I can't lie. Great picture. I'm sorry. I'm not a creep. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a mean picture, and I just had to have it.
You feel me?
But wow, that's a great. I just want people to. The reason why I had asked that is because I really want people to understand that it's really a process in all of this thing. Yeah. You feel me? It's not like the movies where, hey, would you marry me? Yes. And the next clip, you're at the wedding. And then that's just what it is. So then in this, so you say you was very intentional from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? And me, one thing that I'm learning right now is intentionality is very important when it comes to anything, not even just relationships. But how did you know from the very beginning that in this, this dating scene right now, in the relationship, the way society puts it, how did you know that she was going to be that one?
Yeah, so that question can also be formed in like, how do you know that she was your soulmate, right? For me personally, like I don't believe in soulmates. I believe any two people who are willing to work together in a relationship are meant for each other. That's
Ooh.
that's it. Like, if
like that one.
yeah, if you're willing to work in that relationship, that's your partner. Um, but a lot of people don't know is that I've been dating around, right? Not in no like I'm just dating just to date. I'm trying to be with all these types of girls. No, I was really looking for someone to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I think one thing I kept in mind while looking for a significant other, like I didn't want to force anything on them that they don't want. Right.
True.
So from jump for me it's like if I ask you out and you say no, I'm gonna respect it and just leave it as that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go like I know you hear a lot of times where they said men gotta be hunters. They gotta chase the woman. I'm like listen, I don't have to chase anything that's not for me.
Ooh.
If it's for me, it's there.
It's
I don't
gonna
have
be there.
It's not gonna be running away from me for me to chase it. So yeah. So
And that's another thing too that people don't understand. Not to cut you off, but it's like I remember I seen it somewhere. It's like don't ever say that you're chasing something, because if you're chasing something, that means it was never yours in the first place, and you're trying to catch it. That's why they say it's better to attract, to say that you're attracting who you want, because attracting means that is for you. You know what I'm saying? And when you're purposeful with what you want, it's gonna be yours.
right.
So yeah, never chase. Don't chase the money. Don't chase the girl. Don't chase the house. You know what I'm saying? Attract it.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead.
Right. So, I was asking a lot of girls out. Some would say no. I went out with a couple, but it was not what I was looking for. Like what I seen in them was not what I was looking for. I think the main thing for me was like, she gotta have like a relationship with God, right?
Number one.
No, number one. And
Number one.
honestly speaking, if you can have God in your relationship, it pours out to your relationship with other people.
Yep.
So, like I don't care how good you look, and there's a lot of good looking girls out there. I'm not gonna lie and say there's no good looking girls out there, but if I'm just lost by what I'm seeing and not who you are, then yeah, I'm gonna be lost. Because,
Exactly.
You always hear beauty fades, and then eventually they're gonna show their true characters, who they are. Can you deal with that? So if I know that I couldn't deal with someone who doesn't put God first, especially above me, then she wasn't gonna be the one for me. So for her specifically, I remember asking her out, not directly. It was more so, we're starting to get to know each other because I seen her for the first time in like 2016. I didn't even know she was part of like my community because I've never seen her before.
Yeah.
When I seen her, I already knew she was beautiful, and I'm thinking like, this I gotta try. I gotta try. So
Shoot it. Hope you score.
so yeah, no, I tried one time, but she left me on red,
Sheesh.
and I was like, I need an answer. Like I need an answer, and I didn't get an answer because at this point I'm like, I'm not sure was the message not delivered? But then I looked on my phone. She got iPhone. I see it delivered.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah. So I left that alone for a little while because once again I didn't want to like chase or anything like that.
Yeah.
But then in the back of my mind it was hitting me, was like, what was she thinking that day? Because I don't know what she was thinking at all. Maybe she just seen me as a friend, and that took her by surprise, and she didn't know how to answer to that. So I would say like a couple of years later, I spent the block on it and was like, listen, I like you. I'm trying to take you out and whatnot.
Simple.
And then she was like, on a date to make sure that like I'm not trying to take her out to do nonsense and waste her time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I said yes, on a date, and she was like, okay, and then we started talking after that, and then
Successful date, I'm guessing.
Yo, no, it was a successful date because shout out to COVID-19. This was during quarantine, so it was just a simple car date, movie, in a nice area, had snacks, and pretty much
Valid.
that was it. So
Calm.
right, I had to be creative with that one. But yeah, what I seen in her was, she had a beautiful relationship with her family. She very much was, she had a nice personality.
Yeah.
She was very caring. Like
Yeah.
like all those that I seen in her, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm definitely gonna continue, pursuing her in this relationship and go further on in, my plans for her. So that's how I knew, she was the one I was gonna marry.
That's great, man. And I'm also glad that you said it. Like, a relationship with God is so important that people understand. Because me, I have 4 things that I look for, and one of those, number one, is relationship with God. And I used to compromise it a lot. Until I one time realized that it's no longer a compromise. Way back, I used to speak to a girl, and then she was like, "Yo, I don't know what I want to do in my life," and blah blah. I'm like, "Okay, cool." I'm like, "Do this." I'm like, "Write down the 3 things you want to do, put it under your pillow, pray on it, and then when you wake up the next morning, watch what happens." Wake up the next morning, and I'm like, "So, what are the 3 things that you want to do?" She was like, "Well, I want to do this, I want to do that," and then she was like, "I'm stuck on the last one." I'm like, "Did you pray on it?" She was like, "No." I'm like, "Thank you very much." After that, I'm like, nah. Like, I understand the power of a praying woman. Feel me? I see it from my mom, and that lady is going strong. And so that's what I also want from my lady. So that is no longer a non-negotiable. That is a non-negotiable
Facts.
for me, when it comes to women of God. And like you said, all these things too with the caring and how they are with the family, because the way they are with their family is how they're going to treat you and your family, so that is also very, very important. And yeah, ladies, we don't only care about the beauty. We don't. After a while, the beauty fades, and you're only going to get older. You're not going to get younger, so that's really important, so in terms of now in the relationship, I believe everybody will speak about how communication is important. Communication is important. But what I feel like when it comes to communication, it has to be paired with understanding.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Because you could communicate all you want with a person, but if they're not understanding what it is that you're trying to tell them, it's going to be very hard for you. So what are some ways that you feel like you can better communicate yourself in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? Because there are different type of communications in a relationship, and the way that you say things to your partner can really, show how they understand you. So what are some communicative ways that you've managed to develop to help your partner understand your point of view in your relationship?
Well, for me, I try to be clear as much as possible, right? Because, like you said, is people communicate in different ways. So, one, the person who's receiving what the person communicating them to, how they're receiving it, they first got to be patient, because even though you say in one way that's clear to you, they may not understand it. So you got to find different ways for it to be clear to them.
Yep. Sheesh.
Yeah, no, but one thing about communication, even though we say this a lot, communication is key, right? But communication is not just talking. Like just okay, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Like, are you communicating effectively, right? Are you taking the time to make it clear, make it so they know exactly how you're feeling, or what you want, or what's your needs, what's your desires? Like, are you sharing that with them? Because a lot of times we say for guys, especially to women, like, we can't read minds.
Yeah.
Right? But it's the same thing for guys. Women can't read our minds. So we may think we're communicating in a way that's like, they say guys are logical, right? Some women don't think the way we think. So we really have to try to communicate in their language and let them understand exactly how we're feeling. And guys, don't be afraid to, share how you're feeling.
Yep.
Do not. Like when I
We was just talking about that. Literally earlier, we was just talking about that.
like
That's crazy.
Yeah, nah, you with your significant other and friends and
Yeah.
family, do not be afraid because holding it in is not a healthy thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. That is so true. But the thing is also is like us fellas, we really don't communicate how we feel most of the time. That's because we've been so programmed by society to just care for the woman. It's only the woman, cater to the woman, cater to the woman. It's only what she says goes. The whole happy wife, happy spouse. And then it's just like, don't worry about the guy. And oftentimes that actually hurts us even more because that's why if we're not being heard, if we're not being seen, that's when we go and start looking for it outside. You feel me? So fellas, AKA, this is where emotional intelligence comes in. Emotional intelligence is literally knowing how to formulate whatever you're feeling into words. And emotional intelligence is something that a lot of people do not have.
Oh, they don't.
A lot of people do not have emotional intelligence.
They do not. They do not. I mean, I'm just thinking about someone I know. He was actually expressing one time that he can never express himself to any type of woman because of the fact that he has a fear that they're gonna use that against him, especially with the narrative of men don't show no emotions.
Yep.
They gotta be strong. That's why he said, like, I would rather cry in front of my bros instead of crying in front of a woman because I don't know how she's gonna use that against
you. Yeah.
So it's like
that's facts. Oh my goodness.
But I think one part about communicating, you have to be willing to be vulnerable with the people you say you trust.
Yes.
Because if you can't be vulnerable with the people you say you trust, then honestly, like there's no real relationship with what you have with the people around you
At all. That's really key because that's what I was going to touch on because that right there, I believe personally, is an essential part to a very successful relationship, and that's vulnerability. And why do I say that? You cannot literally get into a deep relationship or be in love with whoever it is that you're with or have a close trustful relationship with like friendship and all that if you're not vulnerable.
Right.
And I feel like that is what a lot of us guys also have a problem with. We don't know how to be vulnerable because why? From young, and it all goes back to childhood traumas. I believe personally everybody has childhood traumas.
Oh yeah.
And childhood traumas are one of the things that hinders us from actually growing into being. Or I don't know. Have you guys watched Kirikou? It's an African cartoon with a kid. He has like a dolphin, not a dolphin tail, but he had a dolphin hole in the back that is held by a black knob. And he was like 12, 13, 15, 20 something years old, and that back would not come off because of all the excess traumas he had when he was young. But then when he finally let that go, he grew up into a wonderful, built black man. You feel me? So I always related to that because it's like me right now, I'm going to therapy for all my childhood traumas. And that's why I'm having all my revelations that I'm having right now. And shout out my therapist. And that's also another thing I feel like every black guy needs to go to, especially black guy. Everybody, but especially black guys, need to go to therapy. Everybody should go to therapy. It is much needed. But yeah, back to the childhood traumas. You need to get over that in order to have a successful relationship. Because childhood traumas correlate between you and your parents. And your parents are your first love.
And if you don't, handle your childhood traumas, if you enter a relationship, your childhood traumas are gonna be exposed in your relationship.
Yes.
Yes. And it's gonna look ugly. A lot of times we say, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be like my parents, right? And then next thing you know, you see the bad habits of your parents into your relationship.
Yep.
And you like at first, you don't see it, but over time you be like, oh, it's just like them.
Yep.
Some people they're not aware that it's happening, and they don't really catch it until it's too late.
Too late, yeah.
But that's why going to therapy and taking care of your childhood trauma is really important, because we're more like our parents than we think, because we've been with them for so long.
Yeah.
We see habits of them. It's just ingrained in us
Yeah.
without us really accepting it. We're in that environment all our lives, and then that's all we know.
Yeah.
That's all we know. And then when we go to a place, we really start acting like our parents, and you be like, yo, this.
Oh, so now that's what they. Oh, so that's why they say, oh, you look like your mom, you look like your dad. You feel me? But nah, that is very true, man. That is very true. So, is trust for you a very important thing in a relationship?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I want her to trust me when I'm in a space where there's a potential of me, doing something that, could jeopardize our relationship, but she knows that, I won't do anything ridiculous. The same with her, right? Because there's always going to be someone out there that's going to be better than your spouse in any way.
All the time.
In height, career, money, looks, whatever, right? But if I know that my partner is my partner and no one is gonna take her place, then that trust, that type of trust is like you can't compare it to anything.
You really
honestly.
can't.
You really can't, and it's really important. But I would say this. You break that trust, it's gonna be so hard.
Very hard.
So hard to get
it back.
to get it back. And even if you do get it back, it's like you may do something that may, because then you just created the trauma in your in a relationship,
Yeah.
in a relationship that was supposed to be a loving relationship.
Yeah.
Now there's a trauma there, and there's something that you might do that's innocent, but it may trigger your partner thinking you might do it again.
Yeah.
Right?
Always.
Even though she knows you might not do it again, but the fact that it was done before, what are the chances that it really can happen again?
Yeah, like it's always in the back of the person's head all times.
So you really don't want to break a person's trust. Be honest with the person, going back to communication, like, be true. Like, just tell the truth, even though it may hurt. Don't tell the truth to,
intentionally hurt them.
Right, intentionally hurt them, but there's some truth that have to be, told. This is how I am. This is my weakness or whatnot. So trust me that I won't do this or do that. And for me to trust you, prove to me that you can be trustworthy.
Can be trusted, yeah.
Like, because I can say that I won't do this, but it's really the action that shows that this person is trustworthy.
Yeah, exactly. And that is so true, man. I really want to touch on that. Yes, breaking the trust. The whole thing with breaking the trust is just, it comes with a big consequence, especially when you're the one that created the trauma. You get a constant reminder. Constant reminder. And when you get you get a constant reminder, and you just gotta know how to respond to it and deal with it, or tell them like, hey, I understand, and you just gotta empathize with them, because at the end of the day, if you don't want that broke the trust, you don't want that broke the trust.
Yeah, but at the same time, even because here's the thing, I know we're talking about relationships, right? But even in the marriage space, like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not trying to give an example of cheating, but there's other ways that someone can break a trust, right? But if that person broke the trust, is the person who, the trust that was broken, can that person then forgive them? Because that's also necessary too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't want anybody to be in a relationship where they made a mistake, where they broke a trust, and you're being reminded of
constantly,
right. You don't want to be reminded of, okay, yeah, I know I did this mistake. Like, can we put it past us? It's not gonna be easy, but like, I'm willing to forgive you that you did this, but let's try not to do that. Do that again.
Appreciate that. So in terms of guys, that's like do not permit the girl to do certain things because of their trust issues. How do you think about that? Is that a thing that stems from trauma? Is it a little bit of insecurities? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both, but I don't know. I've never seen myself being in that type of thinking, only because, like, at least from what I've seen on social media, when it comes to guys not trusting, their girls going out looking a certain way, it's not more so. At least from what I've seen, it's not more so the girl. It's like they not trusting that. What other guys may do, because of course girls can say no, but it's the action of the guys when they see them, and their girl is not ugly, their girl is out there looking gorgeous and whatnot, and it's gonna draw guys' attention. So what are the guys out there gonna be doing? But for me personally, when it comes to my relationship right now with my fiance, she's never really. She's never really done.
My fiance. Golly, say that again, please. Come on now. They gotta know. Hey, ladies, I'm sorry he taken. You heard that. Yeah.
Nah, my relationship with my fiance, she doesn't put herself in a position where I'm gonna be like, I know, she's gonna be in a space where guys are looking for her. Like she's like, even if she's in a space where like even at the workplace, because at the workplace, guys find her attractive, and that's natural because she's really beautiful. Yeah. Right. But she doesn't dress a certain way where she's bringing more attention than she needs to. Yeah. Right. She doesn't. She doesn't. Flirt with them to make them feel like, oh, I have a chance. Yeah. Right. She carries herself like a woman who has respect for herself, respect for her family, respect for her relationship. So I know she's not gonna go out there just acting any type of way for me to think, oh man, a guy's gonna be chasing her. Because for most of the time, from what I've seen, especially on Instagram clips, because I've never really seen it in person with other people relationship, but it's mainly with these skits on Instagram. Like, you go out like this, like these guys are gonna be hollering at you, and it's true.
See, that's always the excuse. Feel me? Oh, I'm not doing it for you. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. Self-love, beauty, all this. But no, you know what it is that you're doing. Because one thing I always say is, like, though you may not be looking for it, but you intentionally looking for that validation. I had given this example before when I had dropped this reel about men not really caring about makeup. The girl's like, oh yeah, I'm not wearing it for them, I'm wearing it for me. I'm like, true, but what if one person did not tell you look good with your makeup? You're gonna feel away, because it's like, damn, I know I look good in that makeup, but not one person told me I look good on that makeup. Like, they gonna feel a certain way. You may not intentionally look for it, but you going to be like, damn, nobody said anything, but hey, it is what it is,
I mean, they gotta be secure in their own selves to not be looking for those type of compliments and whatnot. Because I understand. You could be looking good for yourself, but if you're looking for validation from other people to tell you look good, tell yourself you look good first. Yeah. Tell yourself you look good first. And for the brothers out there who are looking at, women that's dressed like that, I'm not gonna front. I used to be one of them guys. Like, honestly, for a guy specifically, you have to learn how to control yourself. Yeah. Like, self-control is necessary, because since I'm about to enter into a marriage, like, even before, like, you don't see me out here just breaking my neck, like crazy. I mean, like, because there be some, women passing by, I'd be like, this would be an opportunity to look, but I gotta practice self-control. And even with Instagram, with some of the, baddies on Instagram, I'd be looking like, damn, it's easy to double tap. And I'd be like, nah, self-control. Yeah. And because of that, my explore page changed. I don't see the same pictures that I've been seeing before. Yeah. Honestly, self-control is necessary for brothers out there, because women, there could be women out there who's doing it just for them, but then there could be women out there who's trying to get your attention and then trap you into something that you never thought you'd be in. Yep. So.
Exactly. Self-control is really important. That's something I'm learning right now myself. It's very important, man. Especially the one I'm specifically working hard on right now is the liking on the Instagram. Because I'm a person, I just show love. You know what I'm saying? Like, my like, if you look at my post you like I'm probably at like a million things I like.
Oh yeah, same.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I just show love. You feel me? Your
Right.
picture's nice. I just show love. But then it's like I really had to really look at it and be like, whoa, no, it's not just love. You feel me? Especially if it's somebody you used to talk to, and then you liking their picture. Like if you're in a relationship, that's gonna look like why are you liking her picture for? You know? So it's like all of these things matter. And also back to the thing that you were saying about your fiance not putting herself in certain situations. It all comes down to the consideration that she has for you. You feel me? And that's what it is. That's somebody that everybody needs to learn, which is consideration for your partner or consideration for your friend. Like if you know that your partner is not gonna like this thing, don't put yourself in a situation to get her to get that reaction, or don't put yourself in like if she tells you like, listen, I don't like you going out to the club that much. Feel me? And then your guys hit you up like, yo, bro, we about to go out to the club. It's okay to tell them no. They might be like, oh, you simping? Like, yeah, but I'm the one that's gonna be, I'm the one that's gonna get the talk from my lady about why you going out to the club. You know what I'm saying? So consideration is very important to everybody, not just your partner, but it is most so important for your partner because that's who you're trying to be with, and that's who you're trying to stay with.
Right.
You know. So another topic I wanted to touch on about the relationship is respect. A lot of time, women don't really understand why guys favor or respect, or why we find respect to be so important. So I want you to touch on that. Why is it that we feel like if somebody disrespect us, it is like coming out of manhood? You know what I'm saying? Because it's true. You feel me? I read somewhere that says, listen, men value respect while women value love. You feel me? So ladies don't really understand why, you know, certain things is just out of a respect for a man, you shouldn't do it. Or out of respect for your partner, you shouldn't do it. So I want you to touch on that real quick to help them understand.
To help them understand.
Yeah.
Oh man, because I with that topic specifically, I come from like I'm gonna come from a different type of direction, because I do hear it all the time. You know, men want respect, women want love, and whatnot. Me personally, I don't believe it to be 100% true, right? Because I definitely believe both partners want both respect and love. Some men, respect is a form of love.
Yeah.
Right? And for women, love is a form of respect. But at the end of the day, they're both similar in a lot of ways. Right? Because if I disrespect you, I'm not showing you that I love you. Right? In public or private. And, you know, if I'm if I'm unloving, it shows that I don't love you.
Yeah.
Right? So when it comes to men specifically, and this is not all men, you know, everybody have their love language.
Yeah.
Right? Can you, you know, operate, you know, giving the person exactly what they're looking for? You know, yes, some men do like respect. How are you showing him that you respect him? Are you, you know, disrespecting him in public? Because there's some women they're you know, they're gonna be like, you know, we got to talk about this right now. And then there's a whole group of people that don't need to really listen to your conversation. Like, this got to be something in private. Or is she talking to her friends saying like, yo, you know, he did this, or you know, this what he looks like, really, and stuff like that. It's like, nah, like, don't, if you can't, you know, talk to me like that with your friends in front of my face, like I can't even, then it goes back to trust. Like, I can't even trust you, like, when I'm not in the same space as you, you know, to not, you know, destroy my name.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wherever I'm not at and you're there, like, and they're asking, you know, about you, about your significant other, your man specifically, like, yeah, no, he's doing his thing, there, you know, I see him going this far, you know, you saying everything to uplift him.
Yeah.
Right? Some guys, that's how, you know, they want to be respected.
Yeah.
Some guys want to be respected by, you know, making sure that, you know, their woman cook for them when they come home. You know, it shows in different ways, but I still believe that in respect is love. Love, because it at some point it's showing an action that I show that I'm loving this person, I respect this person, I care for this person, all that stuff. So respect can change into different types of word, but I truly believe it's a form of love.
Okay.
It's a form of love.
And I agree. That's true. That's true. Respect and love. Well, thank you for that point of view because it makes sense. Respect and love should be both intertwined together because you can't have one without another. You can't disrespect your person that you're with and then say I love you at the end. That's crazy.
Honestly.
So that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. So in terms of respect and intertwining with love, a lot of times what seems to happen in relationships is that both partners do not know how to grow individually while being together. Because that's something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people struggle with, even myself, knowing how to still develop yourself, self-growth, yourself in a relationship. Since you're in one now, you're about to be married, which means now the stakes about to go double. Now with living with each other and constantly being with each other, how do you see yourself being able to grow while being in a relationship?
Well, yes, you still have to maintain your individuality, right? But your individuality is no longer who you were before you got married, right? Because when you're growing together, a part of you, like especially like the not so good parts or the parts you struggle with or the parts that are unnecessary for you to continue in this space in life has to go, right? So when you're growing as an individual, it's not just you as an individual, but a part of your partner is a part of you, right? So I can't just look at myself as Sunny, when I'm in this marriage space, when I'm looking at myself as an individual, because we're in the marriage space, we share a lot of similar thoughts because we have a lot of similar experience because, we're experiencing a lot of stuff together. We do a lot of things together, so we're going to have similar perspective. Like I'm now seeing why, there's some couples out there who can finish each other's sentences because I was thinking what you was thinking because we had this experience and it was like, I know.
Yeah,
So
it's not magic, people. It's not just magic. It's through time, vulnerability, and connection.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So when you have all these experiences with this person, even when you're still an individual, a part of that person is a part of you. So it's like while y'all growing together. And while you're still being an individual, y'all really are together. Like y'all one. Y'all one. It's like it can't be apart because now I know her dislikes and likes. So when I'm going out somewhere and I'm getting her something, I'm like, I know she'll definitely not like that. So why would I get that? Even though if before I entered the marriage space and I was an individual, I'd casually just get whatever I'm getting. But now I have her in my mind. I'm like, I'm definitely not going to buy that, or I'm not going to entertain this conversation because I know my person, she definitely don't like these type of talks or whatnot. So you can still be an individual, but trust and believe that person is a part of who you are. Who you are. So you're going to grow together for sure. And both of y'all are going to shed some things that are unnecessary for your relationship. But as individuals, it's still going to look like you guys are one because of the experience y'all have been through, how y'all communicate, how y'all talk to each other, and all that stuff. It makes you, and it makes her. But when y'all come together, it's just fusion.
Yeah, that is great. And that's why they usually say, in a relationship or marriage, your partner is literally a direct reflection of you. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I also read this somewhere. It says that relationship only, like you said, exposes all of your childhood traumas and exposes exactly all your inner issues, so you having a partner, this is why people don't see why relationship or marriage is so important. It's because everybody thinks relationship and marriage, especially marriage, is a business move. You know what I'm saying? I was having a talk the other day, you know what I'm talking about, when she was like, oh yeah, when I get married, my man got to sign a prenup. if you're thinking about prenup, there ain't no point in getting married. The point of marriage is to spend the rest of my life with you. Prenup is giving you a fail safe just in case it fails. You know?
So let me tell you something that someone told me, and I was shocked when they told me this. Because of how high the divorce rates are, now when you get a marriage certificate, I don't know if it's happening right now or it's gonna happen in the future, but they saying like is being talked about. You can now get a marriage certificate that expires after 5 years. So after 5 years, if you see that this marriage can no longer continue, you can opt out that marriage, and your marriage will now be void. Yeah,
What?
yeah. So prenups not really gonna be a thing. It may still be a thing, but like yeah. That's I was so shocked. So yeah, the divorce rates we see it's at an all time high. It's
Yeah.
even going past 50% at this point. And yeah, and some people don't even believe in marriages, so now that number is dwindling. But yeah, there's gonna be an expiration on marriage certificates because of the fact that people are not staying in their marriages, even though they may stay 5, 10, 15 years. Like here, 20, for some reason they just decide,
Gonna end it all.
they just gonna end it, and it's like why?
And that's the sad thing because marriage is a beautiful thing.
It
bro.
is.
Being in a relationship is a beautiful thing. It saves you so much. It saves you so much, especially how out here is very scary. Being in a relationship and marriage saves you. So now here's the thing that I feel like a lot of is a major problem with relationship is that people believe that intimacy, the only proper intimacy is sexual intimacy, and they don't believe it's not really been talked about how there's a lot of non-sexual ways that you can intimately connect with your partner. So
Oh yeah.
I want you to, let the guys know like what are some, intimate ways that you can connect with your partner without it being sexual.
Well, we already started with communication,
Very important.
right? Being vulnerable.
Very important.
I think being intimate is a combination of being vulnerable and having trust, right? Because we can look at we can look at the sex part of intimacy, right? And see that, okay, I'm exposing myself to you, like I'm fully naked, no clothes, and I trust whoever I'm exposing myself to is literally for their eyes only, and that's it. Right. And a lot of times we see a lot of people expose that vulnerability when they taking pictures and sharing it in group chats, and it's like,
Man.
yeah, nah, this was supposed to be an intimate moment.
Yeah.
But here you are sharing this intimacy with other people. Communication is a form of intimacy when I'm describing to you my hurt or my childhood traumas, why I'm like this, or something that someone did that made me cry or whatnot. That's an intimate moment.
Yeah.
I don't want you going out on social media, yo, look what this person told me, and exposing it. It's almost the same thing of the first description that I shared. Like, I trusted you with this information. This is not supposed to go to anybody else, right? But here you are, breaking the intimacy I thought I had with you.
Yeah.
Intimacy is really supposed to be between two people
Yeah.
that one trust each other and is capable of being vulnerable with each other. So communication was one thing. I'm not sure if there's another way of being intimate.
I believe another one for me would be shared interest.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
you got to be with somebody that is just connected with you through regular activities or just. I'm realizing, man. Oh my goodness, a lot of couples don't like to be with each other. They don't like to be around each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, feel me? Like people don't like to be with their partner. Like, why would you be? Not even just relationship too. Same thing with friends. There's a group of female right now that are friends because they are all pretty. Not because they like each other. It's real. There's a group of friends. It's literally the shared interest is beauty, and it's like that can't be. It has to have some substance. Some relationships you need to have a shared interest with your partner. Y'all both like bowling. Beautiful. Y'all can go ahead and do that together. Y'all love art. Y'all love music. Whatever your shared interest is, I feel like to me is a form of intimacy because we can always dive deep into that some more.
Yeah, I would even also say that if you don't have a shared intimacy, I mean, if you don't have a shared interest, right? Be willing to be interested in what your person is interested in, right? Because
see what you mean,
there may
yeah.
be a lot of, because I wouldn't say specifically with my fiance and I, we have like a whole bunch of shared interests, but I know she introduced me to Korean drama. I did not know anything about Korean drama. I'm like, Korean drama, you watch that? Like, but she put me onto a couple of shows, and I'm like, oh dang, and we talking about it. I'm like, wow, this is dope. I knew she was interested in it, and I put an effort in, being involved in what she's interested in.
Yeah.
So then I guess then you would say now it becomes
a shared interest.
It becomes a
Yeah.
shared interest. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm into that she was never like really looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, and then she's watching it with me, like Star Wars. Yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan.
You're a Star Wars fan?
Yeah,
I never got into it.
Hell,
I don't
man.
understand it.
Yeah, man, I'm a Star Wars fan, and she dedicated her time to watch it with me.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's love. That's love.
Yo, so yeah, and I'm like, yeah, nah. She understands some some jokes that I would put out there when it's Star Wars references. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, so
That's great. I appreciate that. There's one thing I didn't mention yet, though, which is very important. So you're on Instagram, but you do not post much. You know what I'm saying? That man, you cannot see him. Even his pictures is old. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So with somebody that's not on social media, but that do have it, does that social media not play a major role in your relationship, but how does that play out in your relationship? Does your lady feel the way that you don't post all the time, or you don't post her that often? You might, he said mine. You feel me? Like, how is that happening? Because we live in a current age right now where apparently if you don't post her, you don't love her. You know what I'm saying? Or if you don't post her, you're not important. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, what is it now? They post whatever they're doing, but they don't post the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things is happening, and it's like all these social media rules. Who made it up? Who came up with these things? You know? And what people don't understand, like I previously said, the people that are the most happiest in their relationship are barely posting. So I want you to touch on that, since you've made it to fiance, and you only posted up, I think the not even the proposal.
I did.
You did post the proposal.
That's the only thing I posted.
Yeah, but it was a story though.
No, it was a reel.
It was a reel.
It first was a story, and then I put it as a reel, and then I just left it at that.
Okay,
so I
okay.
hid the reel though. So the reel is not on my main
page, or it's on the real page.
You have to go on the real page.
Okay.
So
yeah.
if people just going on my page and
Be nosy.
Yeah, and they don't look on my reels, then you won't see it.
Okay.
But
yeah, go ahead and touch on that for me, man.
From jump, I was like, listen, I'm not posting anything on social media. I like my relationship private, right? I don't want nobody in my business.
Yes, sir.
I really don't. She was on that same timing too, so I was like,
oh wow. That man got him a good one, man.
And it worked out.
It worked out.
Even till this day, like, trust me when I say I was pressured to put her on my social media page, because there were a lot of events that I was out with her.
Yeah.
We took pictures with people, and people would always ask me, "Can I put this picture up?" I'm like, "Nah." no, seriously. I'm like, "Nah, please,
real talk.
Don't put that picture up." Like, it's not like, what did Drake say? I'm not
trying to hide you from the world, but I'm hiding the world from you.
Right.
I hear that.
Right. Because, I don't know, because I've heard stories of, guys being in a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? And they put it out there. Next thing you know, there's women out there now all of a sudden want to be in a relationship with them, trying to take their man away from them. It's like
it's weird.
It's weird, and I don't want that. I didn't want that. Even to this day, she ain't post me, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. It was literally the day of the engagement, right? one of our friends was asking, can we post it? Because I get it. They were happy for me.
Yeah.
They were happy for the both of us. And they wanted their way of expressing their happiness for us is sharing it on social media.
And that's the issue. Who came up with that rule?
I don't
That's what I'm saying. This social media, man.
I don't know. But
It's weird.
But I had to think. I was like, you know what? Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. And then people were just flooding their
Yeah,
timelines.
I remember that day.
And
Oh
then
my!
it was like, oh man, I'm about to get, congratulations. Because honestly, I told one of her sisters, I would not post that I'm with her until I get married.
Type
Like after the wedding date, and then because honestly, there's some people when I posted, they was like, "You guys were in a relationship together?" Like they never knew it, and that's how I like it. That's how I like it because what I don't want is a lot of people's opinion in our relationship because all them opinions can distract you from a whole bunch of unnecessary things that you don't even need to think about.
Exactly.
This is where you are. You know what you wanted. I know what I wanted, and we're gonna continue doing things like this. The more people that knows about your relationship, there's the more opinions, the more voices. Like it's unnecessary, and people.
It's exactly what I said. I said the same thing. Putting your whole not even life, just relationship on social media. You're just giving unnecessary people power to speak over your relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there's some sick and wicked people out here that would literally willingly try just because they know you with a certain person. They would willingly try to sabotage it, or the ones that just like, oh, it may be a thing from long time ago. Oh, did you know that? It's weird. You know what I'm saying? So it is wild, man. Yeah. So then how do you, I forgot. You was going to say something?
No, I was going to say it's emphasized more when you're wedding planning. When you're wedding planning. You can't invite everybody right?
Yes, I'm glad you touched on that. How is that going? Because, are you just going to, what's the thing before the wedding? Is it the one, it's not a bridal shower.
Wedding shower,
is it?
bridal shower.
Wedding shower, yes. So is that how it goes? Because usually that's what a person had done before, where they invited everybody to the bridal shower or the wedding shower. But then the wedding had like 50 people. The wedding had like 50 people. And then that's it. So like, how's that process going for you, man?
Listen, it's a transition. I'm like I was saying, when you're growing with the person, you're going to have to shed a couple of...
Ain't no hard feelings, bro, but...
No, it's really no hard feelings. You can't take everybody with you.
You ain't been here in 5 years, man. I know we grew up together, but you ain't been here in 5 years, man.
You really start evaluating some relationships.
Yup.
Right? No, honestly, then you got to see, how your significant other sees certain individual, because once again, it's not just
you anymore, yeah.
It's you and your significant other. And... a lot of people showed their true colors. I respect the people, who didn't get an invitation and understood. Yeah. Right? They didn't hold no grudges. And there's some people out there who is like, where's my invitation? Yeah. And they saying it in a rude way. And I'm like, you acting like this, you really expect me to give you an invitation now? Yeah. Like, no, but weddings cost. Yeah. Like, trust me when I say, it looks good on Instagram. It looks good on Instagram. But don't fool yourself. Women, please don't fool yourselves thinking that what you see on Instagram is the type of wedding you gonna have. Honestly, like it's you gotta be making a lot of money.
A lot of bread, man.
And we're just the average. I'm not saying, at one point we're not gonna reach that type of money, but if you had it, would you really spend that much all on a wedding? Honestly, it's one day. One day, and from the advice from the advice I've gotten from couples, it's like, the day goes by so fast. You're from morning to night. You end up tired at the end of the day. Like sometimes people go hungry because this person want to talk to them, this person want to see them, take pictures, that. You're doing so much, and it's literally a one-day event. And at the end of the day, all you'll have to show for it is just pictures. And videos.
Bank account screaming.
Yeah. So
Nah, I hear that, man. I hear that. Sheesh.
yeah.
But I mean, hey, I guess it's all for the aesthetic, right? It's all for the looks. It's all for the moment, and you just gotta enjoy it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Just gotta enjoy it.
I mean, me personally though, I always tell my fiance this, and she knows this, so I'm not afraid to share this. I really wanted to elope, right? But because this is something that she wanted, you know, I'd give that to her. You know, I'd give that to her. Just wasn't gonna break in the bank because we got a future, you know, to think about. We got a future to think about. So,
I love it. Man, nah, for real.
listen, you spend all this money. Half the people who comes to the wedding not gonna give you a gift.
At all. I don't need them. Man.
No, it's true. It's true.
It's true, man.
It's
It
true.
is.
Like it's all nice and whatnot, but you know.
Damn, Benz. I'm gonna get you a gift. I know I'm not too late. You know what? I'm gonna send you a gift too, man. You know, as the fellas, we doing that do the most spending anyway. So you know, then,
Right.
And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of the guys, if we ain't have to, we really wouldn't. You know, we'll just do a civil, quick, go to the court, get it done, and that's it. You feel me? But because of our ladies, you know, because of our women, significant other, it's their day. It's the day that you take them from their family and bring them.
It's our day. It's our day. Remember that. It's
our day.
It's our day.
Yeah, you know, we changing that. Yeah, it's our day. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's our day. We becoming one.
Right.
You know, under the covenant. Yeah, it's our day.
Right.
Yeah.
But listen, to everyone that's watching, ain't nothing wrong with a civil wedding, something small. It could be at a church. It don't have to be at a big venue.
Yep.
Destination weddings are cool too, but do something that goes with your budget.
Simple.
Listen.
Please stop trying to care for people that don't care. You know what I'm saying? Opinions are opinions. That's all. You feel me? At the end of the day,
It's just y'all too.
exactly. And that's really all that matters. You feel me? So now, man, wow, we hot right now. I ain't gonna lie. Goodness gracious. Okay, now, in terms of independency in the relationship, right? In terms of sharing, well, not sharing, but between each other, growing. I already said it, growing, but now we're talking about financially rise, right? In terms of that in the relationship, how do you feel about this whole 50-50 thing that goes on in talks of relationships?
Financially only?
Yeah.
I don't think everything could be 50-50 in financially in a relationship. How I see it, we already started like something joint, but we do the percentage based off our income.
Okay.
Right. So we bring all the money that we get on our paycheck, and we see what's the percentage of she brings, what's the percentage I bring, and then we calculate it based off that. Yeah, and we have, as of right now, we do have a joint account, and then we have our own separate account, right, to do whatever we want to do. We just know that the money that we have in a joint account is going to be paid for all the necessary expenses, expenses that we have, and then we have our own money to do whatever we want. And yeah, like 50-50, things are never really
50-50.
So,
Thank you. Really isn't.
It's really never 50-50. So I don't expect it to be 50-50. And I think when you leave things as 50-50, from what I've seen or what I believe, is like you start tallying for some reason. Like, okay, I did this, now you have to do this.
Yeah.
But I know I've talked to like real relationship, and they always say, sometimes your significant other is not gonna have, the energy to give that, percentage that you were expecting.
Yeah.
And then you start carrying that, some of their percentage. There's gonna be, ups and downs, 50-50, 70-30, 80-20, however the math goes. Yeah. Yeah. And but once again, you're there, you're willing to work with each other. carry, my significant other where she slacks, and she's gonna carry me where I slack, and then we literally carrying each other up.
Yep. And I'm glad you mentioned it because that's all it is. That's all relationship is. You know what I'm saying? It's all about picking up wherever your partner is the weakest at, and then you intertwine that. And it's all about literally catering to each other. I seen, what's his name? I forgot his name. But he said if a lot of people came into relationships with the mindset of how can I help you instead of what can you do for me, a lot of relationships will really prosper that way.
Honestly, right. 100%. I 100% agree, because we definitely look at what the individual can do for us. And I'm seeing it in all these, YouTube channels, Instagram, talks. It's literally, okay, she's supposed to cook, clean. She's supposed to do this. He's supposed to do this. He's supposed to do that. I'm expecting this, that, and that. But you're not saying what you're willing to do.
Exactly.
You're not saying like, okay, I'm here to serve you, because that's it. At the end of the day,
it is.
I'm here to serve you. I'm here to provide you with what you need, and that's pretty much it. When we go with that attitude, you will never fail.
To be honest,
we won't fail.
To be honest, I do want to give you and your lady props though, because you guys seems very mature in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? From 2016 to 2020.
Absolutely.
You said you spend back 2020.
Hold on. I gotta give like a whole real story. I mean, I gave like snips here and there.
Okay.
I ain't give like a whole story. You got the, she left me on red and whatnot.
Oh, there's more.
It's not more. Oh.
Drop the T then.
No, it's not, because honestly, especially at that age. So let me tell you this. I first laid eyes on her in 2016.
Okay.
When I say she was beautiful, and she still is.
Good catch, good save.
No, she really was, and she really is.
There we go.
And to the point where when I first saw her, I saw her with her brother, and I thought her brother was her man's, and I'm like, this guy gotta be the luckiest guy, because she is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and I really never seen her ever in my life. But then a couple of weeks later, I ended up at their church. I didn't even know that was their church, and I saw her brother, which I still thought was her man's. And we just chopping it up. Once again, I had no intentions of taking another man's woman. I don't believe in that. And then we was just chatting it up, and then realized I went out with myself, Daniel, and her brother. We went to BJ's because we was preparing for an event at Hebron, and I was like, "Yo, whose BJ's card are we gonna be using?" He was like, "My sister's." He pulled out the card. I seen her face. I was like, "Oh, that's your sister." Green light for me.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, I'm in there. I'm in there. Like, yeah. And then so I was like, I'm gonna play my cards right. But how I move when it comes to like, pursuing a woman, I don't pursue her directly. I pursue her indirectly, in the sense where I get to know her peoples, right? Her peoples get to know me, right? So then, if they can see that, I'm good and trustworthy,
a good guy,
yeah, then they can, like, when I
put in the word for you,
right?
Oh my goodness! Oh, IQ 1,000. Oh, fellas, he just gave y'all the play.
But no, of course, at some point I have to pursue her directly,
of course,
right? And let her know, because you don't want to leave her in confusion. Yeah. So, because she did tell me one time, because I didn't even know this. She did tell me one time, her sisters were talking to her. They was like, "Yo, you ever thought about going out with Sonny?" I've never even told them to say that, but I already had a relationship with them, but I had a friendship with her. So when they put that in her head, yeah, mind you, I really didn't know. I'm just going about, okay, I gotta, ask her out sometimes. So I'm in the same friends group. We're going out as friends with our group. We're in the same group chat. And me, I try to carry some of that conversation out the group chat with one-on-one. And then we just talking one-on-one. And, and then she was really seeing me as a friend. And then even during the summertime, before I had a car, I was taking the bus. She was taking the bus, and we ended up on the same bus. I'm like, oh snap, that's cool. And then I'm just talking to her, and I think she told me one time that she really knew that I was a good guy, because one time when we was taking the train together, I ran into an old high school classmate, and she said the way I was interacting with him, and he's not within the Haitian SDA community.
Yeah.
She saw that like this guy has respect for the people he interacts with. He's not rude or in any type of bad vibes type.
Yeah.
So yeah, but she still left me on red after all that stuff. But once again, because after she left me on red, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not it. So I started dating other people, but that wasn't working. Had a conversation with one of my friends. He was like, man, you getting older, man. You don't have nobody that, you're looking at. And when he said that, I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking about her. And I'm like, I never got an answer from her. Like this time, I really want to answer. Like if it's no, of course I'm a respect the no. Yeah. But if it's yes, it's a win. It's a go. So yeah, and this time now I'm really like
pulling up all them cards.
Listen, I'm even inviting her to like my birthday outings, basketball tournaments, and it's hard to get her out there. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? Instead of like, because I don't think I was really beating around the bush, but people can say I was beating around the bush. But I was like, you know what? I'm really gonna ask her. We was talking late 2019, like really started to talk up until 2020. I invited her to the basketball tournament in Barclays. Unfortunately, she didn't show up. I'm like,
damn.
So yeah. So so I'm like, this year it gotta be the year. Then COVID happened. I'm like, man, if I don't do it this year, it's never gonna happen. So there was an opportunity where her brother was celebrating, his girlfriend's birthday at his apartment, and he invited me. I was like, I'm gonna take the opportunity to do this now. Like, because if I don't do it, it's never gonna happen. Right? So that day we literally spent a wonderful time together, families and friends and whatnot. Now it's time to go home, and she need a ride home. I got a car.
Come on, somebody. Hey.
So yeah, so I have this rule, because mind you, when I say I'm really close with her siblings, like to the point where her youngest sibling wanted to come to the front, sit in the passenger seat, but I told her, only older siblings are allowed in the front seat. It's a rule that I actually have.
Oh, okay.
But this was the perfect opportunity to
implement that rule.
Right. So yeah. So she was like, okay. So she sat in the front, and then when I dropped them home, I told her sisters, "Can you wait for your sister inside? Just I gotta talk to her real quick."
Yes, sir.
And then that's when I was like, "Look, this is how I feel about you. I do want to take you out. I don't know when COVID's gonna end, but I do want to take you out." And she was like out on a date. I was like, yes. She was like, okay. And then went out from there.
Ladies, moral of the story, answer your damn DMs, man. You know what I'm saying? You might be leaving your potential boo on unread. Open them DMs, man. Tired of y'all DMs having 100 unread messages, man. Like 50 requests is like, what's up, man?
It's crazy.
You feel me? It's okay though. It's all for the aesthetic, right? Right? Open the app, bro. Come on now. Like, look at all these DMs I got.
Oh my
God. Come on, man. We open them DMs. Your future boo might be in there. See, moral of the story. You feel me? But fellas, to my good guys, because we're about to wrap that up. To my good fellas, from anything you can get here today is be intentional. You know what I'm saying? Be intentional with whoever it is that you're pursuing, not chasing. You feel me? Pursuing and pursue that person with the purpose of marrying them. Okay, that's the only way. I've seen nowadays a lot of churches and a lot of this society is pushing dating when that's not what we should be really pushing for. You feel me? Courtship is the proper way to do it. courtship is the proper way to do it with the intention of marriage. So let us really focus on that, and also be vulnerable in your relationships. Being vulnerable allows you to build a deeper connection with whoever it is that you're with. Friendship, parents, you know what I'm saying? A perfect, or not even a perfect, a good relationship requires uncomfortable communication, comfortable conversations. So you can't avoid these things for too long. So those are just what I've got so far in this whole conversation. Anything else you want to add on to that for the good guys out here, and also for the ladies that need help understanding?
I can't really speak too much for the ladies, but yeah, no, there's nothing much I can say, but really be intentional. Marriage is not the end goal. Marriage is the starting of a long-term relationship. So if you're just looking to marry just to say you got married, then you're not ready to get married, honestly, because marriage is work.
Yep.
Marriage is work. It's for those who are really much ready to, who are mature to be in a serious, committed relationship. Yep. A lot of times we just give up because, oh, he didn't do this right. Oh, she didn't do this right. Nah. Did you talk about, what you didn't like? Nah,
exactly.
Communication is key. Do you have respect for each other?
Yep.
What sort of expectations do you have coming into the relationship? Have you communicated that? Is it something that person can actually do? Because sometimes we have unrealistic expectations based off what society taught us. But be ready to serve. And I'm not talking about women submitting to men, because a lot of times, media out there would like to use that, women submit to men. But honestly, if you read the text specifically, it says wives submit to your husbands, right? It's not talking about girlfriends submit to your boyfriend. So guys, if you have that expectation of the woman submitting to you, then you got to put a ring on it
first.
You gotta put a ring on
and let's not forget also, it also says the man has to be submitted to God too. So it's a loop. It's a M, it starts from the wife, goes to the husband, and then the husband goes to the Lord.
So guys too, it specifically says love your wives as Christ loved the church. And a lot of times guys think that, you got to be like Christ on a authority level, but God, Jesus Christ came down as a servant to help us and save us.
Yep.
So serve your wife. Submit one to another.
Yeah.
Submit one to another, and y'all be good.
Yeah. And remember, go into the relationship with the mindset of how can I serve you? How can I help you? Instead of what can you do for me? You know what I'm saying? And watch it, Comment down below. Come back to this video, you know what I'm saying? And then in a week or two, and let me know how these advice work out for you. You feel me? We in that section now where you get to ask me whatever it is that you need to ask me. You know what I'm saying? A question related to the topic or just about me in general.
I guess related to the topic, like, do you ever see yourself being in a serious committed relationship?
Oh yeah, big time. Work in progress. Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Do you believe that everyone is meant to be in a relationship?
No. Some people are meant to be single. You feel me? Just be single for the kingdom, like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson would say, "Be single for the kingdom." You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's meant to be in a relationship, but at the same time, like you said, if you're willing to work, and you find somebody that's willing to work with you, then I think you should go for it. Because everybody deserves love. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said before, if God wanted everybody to be alone, he would not have given Eve to Adam. Adam was alone, and that's why he decided to give him Eve. And so everybody deserves love. Everybody should have love. Everybody needs somebody.
So I like how you said that, because when I'm specifically talking about that situation, when God said it's not good for man to be alone, at that moment in time, he was specifically talking about Adam, and he needed a helpmeet in Eve, right? But when I asked you, do you think should everybody be in a relationship? You said no, and I'm glad you say that, because a lot of times people would use that specific, storyline, that text saying that, when I'm not meant to be alone, I need somebody. Nah, because you can also use that verse in a community based sense.
Yeah.
Right. If you know that you have a strong, foundation, strong community, you're not alone.
You're not.
Just because you're single, you're not alone. You have family, you have friends,
Yeah.
you have church, you have work people. Society makes it seem that being in a relationship is what you have to be in.
yeah.
You don't have to be in a relationship. And I know I'm coming from a place where I'm about to get married. Yeah, but if I wasn't, getting married and I see myself, not being in a relationship, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with myself.
And that's the issue. Not a lot of people are okay with themselves. Why? Because they are not continuously growing and healing from their past traumas. You know what I'm saying? And people play this. It's so underrated. Spending time alone is actually a great thing.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Man.
But people don't realize also is like thriving your singleness is also a thing. Like you don't need to be in a relationship. Being by yourself is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to this sermon and the pastor said there's 2 stages you're gonna be in life. You're gonna be single because you can wake up and do whatever the hell you want. You can wake up today and say, "Mom, I'm going to Africa." You feel me? You don't gotta answer to nobody, nothing. It's like the second place you like to be at is in a relationship or marriage. He's like, now when you have a partner, you have somebody to share your life with. It's all love. It's all great. He was like, the worst place you want to be at is dating. Because that's like a job interview. You don't know when you there for. you don't know when you there for and none of that. So once he explained that to me, that's when I had to really start to realize that, the dating scene is scary. You know what I'm saying? So nothing is wrong with being by yourself, especially if you have a good foundation of people around you. Like you're not alone. You have people and use them, And when I mean use them, I'm not talking about like in a negative way. Because I had a good person of mine that told me like, yo, listen, I'm here for you. Like use me. And then I didn't understand that until that person was not here anymore. Because it's like her telling me to use her was like, listen, if you're down and out, I'm always here and available. Like use me to be your safekeeping and to get you out of that spot. So if you do have certain people like that in your community, or you do have that one person, it's okay. You're not by yourself. You don't need to be in a relationship to feel wanted or to feel like you're thriving. And it's crazy because it's women out here, including guys, that just can't be by themselves. Like I've heard it multiple times. Girls like, I hate being single.
I see it too. Like you would hop from one relationship and then immediately hop in another one. I'm like, how can you do that?
You had no time to heal.
How can you do that? And honestly, a friend of mine told me that people who practice, being in one relationship and going to the next, you're actually practicing divorce. Like any little thing, you just easily break up with just anybody, and you breaking up with multiple people. There's a high % chance that when you're actually married, you're gonna get divorced. Wow. Because that's all you know is just, okay, I'm in this relationship and then I just leave because for whatever reason.
Yeah, and then when you do that also, it's like you leave a piece of yourself here, and like you're just leaving pieces of yourself everywhere. You don't really take time to really come back and really build yourself again to be whole, and it's back to that, like you said, that 50-50 thing when it's like, oh, it's 70-80, not even just relationship, not even just financial wise, but we got to come into the relationship 100. You know what I'm saying? You come together whole, you come whole, and then that way we can prosper. Because if you come 50-50, you're going to expect me to give you your other 50. And I'm going to expect you to give your other 50. But if we come whole together and we put God first, everything else will work out.
Definitely put God
first.
first.
You feel me? Definitely.
Definitely put God first.
Say it again.
Definitely put God first.
Amen. Any other question before we move on to the next section?
Nah.
Pretty good. All right. That next section now is the part where you can give a business or, a person. Like I said, you could say shout out mama. You know what I'm saying? There's that person that we call it spread the love section. So.
Spread love section?
Yeah. Support is free. Sorry. Wow.
No, support is free. Support the Franco-Haitian Federation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a part of that team, that staff. Yushabel, I love you. That's my fiance.
Oh. Ooh, loving out loud.
Yeah. support the basketball tournament. That's
April
that's-
8th.
That's coming. I mean, I'm not in charge of basketball no more. Youngsley is in charge of that.
Yeah.
So definitely support the federation by going there, and yeah.
All right. Me as usual. Editors gonna put up who the support I'm supporting. I don't got them on top of my head right now, but yeah, man, this is it. I feel like we need a part 2 with you, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of extra stuff I needed to touch on, but we running out of time.
That's fine.
You feel me? So I'm definitely gonna run up that part 2.
Okay.
And talk on that relationship, and hopefully by that time you can also touch fully on marriage, since you'll probably be a newly wedded. You know what I'm saying, man? And I can't wait to touch on that, man. So look, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Don't forget to follow us on all our platform at ip.set__. Make sure to follow my guy here, even though he's not even on it.
I post stories here and there.
Here and there. You gotta catch them quick though. You feel me? They be like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they funny though. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're on the road to that 100, man. We got 88 or 89 of you guys already so far clocking in with the AP.Set podcast. We appreciate all the love we've been getting, and I appreciate y'all. See you in the next episode. Peace.
AP.Sit.